evening to our 8th grade parents. We appreciate you so much being here. I'm Mitzi Neely, the Assistant Superintendent for White Oak ISD. To start things off, I want to make some introductions of our staff, our administrative staff. Some of those you're very familiar with from our middle school campus, and then our administrators that you'll be working with as your students transition from 8th to 9th grade. I want to introduce our superintendent, Michael Gilbert. Okay. Mr. Dan Knoll, our high school principal. Miss Amy Billingsley, our assistant high school principal. And Jack Hale, our high school counselor. Three of our individuals that you see on a day-to-day basis, Mr. Ronnie Hinkle, our middle school principal. Mr. Kevin McKay, our assistant principal at the middle school, and Mrs. Kelly Ham, our middle school counselor. We are so very thankful for these people, and let me just tell you this evening, there's going to be some information that you may have questions about with House Bill 5 and our new graduation requirements. A lot of those questions we're going to be able to answer. We're going to be very honest with you. What you get tonight is what we know currently and what our Region 7 Education Service Center knows currently. More of that information will be released in late January when the State Board of Education releases a list of approved courses for both advanced coursework and, of course, the 5 endorsements that you'll be introduced to tonight. I do want to tell you that we've had great discussion here among our administrators. This is probably the most sweeping of changes in our entire careers and probably in 50 years of public ed. We are very excited about what those options bring for you. We are very excited at the opportunities that your students have to make choices not only for college, but career pathways. You're going to see some of both of that tonight and how House Bill 5, the graduation plan, and the endorsement pieces will better serve your students to be college and workforce ready when they leave White Oak ISD and graduate as seniors. So we're very excited to have you this evening. We're going to give you the facts. We call them just the facts and the basic information. At the closure of the slideshow or the PowerPoint, and it's already been posted to our district homepage, we have 3 different places that you can go to get more information and research more of this after you leave here this evening, and go through the PowerPoint again online. So at this time, we'll have Miss Amy Billingsley come forward and get us started.
I just wanted to take a moment to talk to you from this parent to you as a parent. With your child coming up to the high school, it's already a little bit unnerving to you, and I understand that. I want you to understand that we're going to take very good care of your child and that they were going to be successful. That's our utmost, the safety and well-being of your children. This part of it is just so you will know what steps we're going to take to make sure they are on the right path that they want to go on. The one other thing from parent to parent is keep the communication lines open between you and your child. There's going to be things happen in classes, and at the end of that year, they're going to think, you know what, I really don't want to go that route. So keep the communication between yourself and Mr. Hale, Mr. Knoll, and myself open to the changes that y'all are talking about, discussing, and don't think that you're locked in and, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Communicate with us, and we're going to make sure the transition through these endorsements and their graduation plan is easy and the best thing for everyone involved, okay? I'm so excited that you're here, but there are going to be times that we're going to say we don't know, because right now we may not know because we haven't been given those directives. As soon as we have the directives from TEA and Region 7, we're going to share that with you. There's other parent meetings, and you'll see the dates and things. There's other things that you're going to have to do to help us, that we're going to work together to make sure we're all on the same page and we're all talking the same language. And I appreciate you being here, and I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Knoll.
Just one household chore, if you don't mind. First of all, I want to say thanks. Mr. Hinkle said, hey, you'll have a good group here tonight. And I'm anxious to work with your kids, because if your kids get as active as y'all have already been, we're in good shape. But if you have not signed, before you leave, if you've not signed the sign-in sheet, please do so, because if your name's not on there and we start cross-referencing, I want to be able to get something to those that are not here so that they'll have kind of a working knowledge of what's going on. I am real big on not ever wanting to read something to you, but there are a couple things, House Bill-wise, and things that have come out of House Bill 5 that I think I'll probably have to read to you. I won't be speaking very long. Mr. Hale's got the longest part because it's going to talk to you about the endorsements that come from House Bill 5. But I do want to... This right here is Austin. They've just changed everything again. And that's our FFA man. He said, I'll call you and remind anybody that bought fruit from us, I'm down here now. So I wanted to share with you, between Mr. Gilbert, myself, Miss Neely, and Ronnie Hinkle, and Mr. Hale, you add all that together and you're talking about 100 and some years of education. And without a doubt, what Miss Neely said is, it's so true. Your child will have more choices about his education along with his mother and father. Now, at this end of the group, I have Jerry Jones up here. As I walked by him a minute ago, he said, my son's going to do that. Well, that's not really what this is all about. We're going to have moms and dads and kids really talk about this, because I know you have the wisdom to share with them. And we're going to give you a little bit more to help a little bit. And you're going to go along, and some of your kids will be, well, I want to go this way. And get going a little bit and say, you know, I'm not sure that I want to do all that. And this is really going to be neat for your kids, and I'm excited about it. But House Bill 5, a student entering this next year, your 8th grade child and anyone after that, shall enroll in the courses necessary to complete the curriculum requirements for the Foundation High School program. Now, that's what this is called, and it has 5 endorsements. We used to, not long ago, for a few years, had minimum, recommended, and distinguished graduation plans. Those are going away after our sophomores, juniors, and seniors graduate. When your freshmen come in, they're under a new program. It's Foundation. And you'll see in just a moment that these, under the Foundation, there are going to be 5 endorsements. And these endorsements are going to be a whole spectrum. And I think leading the path on a lot of this is some of your smaller schools. And I sing their praises for it, because I think it's very, very important. But I think the biggest thing about House Bill 5 is the fact that your child and yourselves are going to have the opportunity to make choices. And some of those choices have not been given. You're going to do this, you're going to do, well, now we're going to give you the opportunity to be a little more flexible and to pursue your child's personal interests. And I think it's important. A couple things that House Bill 5 did, and I think it's so important. I know that you hated the word TEKS, tax. You're not going to lose the TEKS. But after this year, starting with your child, we're going to have these stars, and I think you're well aware of it. At the high school last year, we had 15 of those just in our high school. House Bill 5 did away with 10 of them. That's great. That's very, very important. Starting, well, actually, the 5 that are left, and I think they're probably the 5 that need to be there. English language art, reading and writing. Freshman level, same thing at the sophomore level. We're going to have algebra, biology, and American history. And so that's going to be, it's going to give your kids 5 rather than 15. And those are not going to be standardized tests. Those will be, but now that we've dropped 10 of them, we've got your kids coming in, and we're going to get under these endorsements, the testing will be different. And I think that's very, very, very important. And that old high stakes testing is going to go away. Those EOCs, and now you probably have heard that, EOC, end of course. And it's going to help us we spend so much time testing, and we're not going to have to spend all that time. We spent days and days and days just testing. But I don't need to tell you all that. You're the ones that had to get up and fix the breakfast and rub them down and rub their, make sure they were okay. And it's going to be good. I really feel good about this. But as we get into the foundation program and talk about the endorsements, the pieces of paper that you have in front of you, and as soon as you turn that first page, is where we pick up Mr. Hale. And Mr. Hale is, when she said 50 years of education, I thought, well, that's just Mr. Hale. But I may be wrong. But it's an honor to introduce just a dear friend. I ask that you turn to that very first page, and let's pick up Mr. Jack Hale, high school counselor.
Excuse me. Okay, let's get to this slide right here. There she is. This is where we will start, at the bottom. This is the foundation plan. This will take at least 2 years to complete all of this, and then that will get them pretty much till the sophomore year, and then you can start worrying about the endorsements, even though it certainly, I think, would be a good idea as you see these endorsements that you could start talking to your children about them now and start formulating some ideas and have some goals and which one they think would lead them to the highest interest level that they have. But anyway, just so you'll know, 4 years of English language arts. This is nothing new. Language or English ELA 1, 2, 3, and that advanced English will either be our English 4, which is an AP English class if they choose to do that, or a dual credit college class. And then there are other things that could be classified as an advanced English. And of course, we don't have to have those in place for several more years. And we will be looking at that. What we'd like to be able to offer everything possible. But that becomes a problem with Mr. Gilbert's checkbook over there, to have that many course offerings, and then you got to have the qualified and certified staff to teach it, and then you got to have the building to put them in. So just please understand that. And then when we get to the math, the Algebra 1 geometry and 1 advanced math, that has not been defined yet. Algebra 2 certainly will come under that category, but some other maths will too. 3 social studies, world geography, world history, are a combined course. This is something that's new. There's not even a curriculum set for this combined course of world history, world geography, much less a textbook or any other kind of teaching materials. But anyway, that's kind of how government works sometimes. And then, of course, U.S. history, government, and economics. 3 sciences, biology you're familiar with, IPC, integrated physics and chemistry. It sounds like something that's way up there, but it's the general science that most of you, or the physical science that most of you took when you were in the 9th grade. That's what IPC is. And then some other advanced sciences, chemistry, physics. We already have those in anatomy and physiology. We have a pre-AP chemistry. We have a pretty good offering right now for a small school. And of course, we're going to be looking at having some more sciences, and you'll see why in just a moment. 2 foreign languages. This is part of the foundation. This is no longer an elective option. It is part of the foundation. Right now, we offer Spanish as a foreign language. There are discussions about American Sign Language being a possibility for the foreign language, which would be a good thing. Even some computer languages may count. We don't know that now. That's the kind of thing that Ms. Neely, Mitzi said earlier, we'll find out more of that in January when the state board meets again. But we will have some way, some access to being able to offer something other than just Spanish. Not sure how we'll do it, but Mr. Gilbert, can I say I promise them that we will have some way to offer something other than Spanish? Thank you. Okay. And then a fine arts, That can be accomplished through band, choir, naturally, also through theater and visual arts. There's no problem there. PE, and then 5 electives. So that's where we start. That's going to take us a couple of years to work through. Well, we won't get through the English 3 and those things, but we'll get most of this foundation done through their freshman and sophomore years. Then we start looking at the endorsements. And, whoops, you're one ahead of me. That's okay. Go back one. Don't know how. Okay, the 5 endorsements, science, technology, and just leave that one there. Science, technology, engineering, and math, that's what the STEM acronym is. Business and industry, public services, arts and humanities, multidisciplinary. So we're going to look at the STEM. So they've completed the foundation plan. And now we're looking at the things that are included in the STEM endorsement is additional sciences and 2 electives, plus Algebra 2. So we've got an extra math, an extra science, and a couple of more electives. And the sciences, we have lots of sciences right now, but we will be looking closely. Dan and I have already had some conversations along with Ms. Neely and, of course, Mr. Gilbert and Amy. What other sciences can we offer? We got to look at our personnel, their certifications, and just the feasibility of offering some unusual science. We do have an environmental science. This CTE science is more of a vocational type science, but it also counts in there. Again, we're not sure just what that's going to look like. And then, of course, technology. We have lots of technology offerings. You can see Mr. Morton back there at the back that's filming. He teaches about 3 very unusual different kinds of technologies, some animation, if I'm calling it that, graphic design, lots of different things, and we have a new gaming design along with the normal stuff, business information management system, which is like a introductory word processing, PowerPoint, database, those kinds of skills in a word processor. But anyway, and then engineering, not sure exactly, some of that will come through the vocational side and the advanced maths. And again, we're strong in our math department. We go all the way through AP calculus. We have pre-calculus, we have math models, and of course algebra, geometry, algebra 2, pre-AP stuff, and AP stuff. And then we're also hoping to have another. Any way we can do it, we will do that as soon as we know what the menu is. But that's the STEM group, and that would lead to, as you can see from that, possibly engineering, who knows, several different areas. All right, we move on to the next one, business and industry. Oh, we're going backwards now. Okay, you did the STEM, okay. Now the business and industry. There we go. Okay, information technology. And we have some things in that category. Accounting, we have accounting 1 and 2, both advanced. Marketing, that would be something that we would have to see how we could offer some kind of marketing class. Database management, we have some stuff there. Some construction through our new FFA program, we have some of that. Logistics, we will look. Agricultural science, our plans are eventually through our new ag program and our new FFA program, we will have some of that. Communications, we do have. Finance, our business teacher, accounting teacher, has already asked about adding another finance type course. And Mr. Hinkle had talked to me and promised me that, but seriously, to see if he couldn't figure out a way for all 8th graders to take this Principles of Information Technology through our online SuperNet class. And by doing that, that would allow our current teacher who is teaching that Principles of Information Technology to put in some additional classes that your children should be able to choose from. Architecture, we have a way to go there. Welding, we do have through our ag and FFA program, good welding. Automotive technology, we could do some partnering with Kilgore College to be able to offer something there. along with the HVAC. So that's the business and industry. And, you know, if any of your children are inclined through that HVAC, man, that's a good direction to go. And public services now, let's see where we are. There we are. Health science occupations, we have a couple of classes there. Culinary arts, we do have lifetime nutrition and wellness right now. Law enforcement would probably have to come through a partnership with Kilgore College. Education and training, again, when we see the actual list of courses that fit there, hopefully we can have something to offer. And hospitality, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but once we, like I say, we're waiting for this magic list to occur. So again, if your child has interest and inclination in something related to this, and again, we don't have to decide this tonight, but within the next 48 hours, we want it decided. Now, just seeing if y'all were awake out there. No, again, so you don't have to start shaking your child. What do you want to be when you grow up? We got 2 years to get that, quote, foundation laid, and then we move off in those 5 other directions. Next, we see arts and humanities and political science. I'm not sure just what that involves. World languages. Now, we will have some online opportunities with other languages. Cultural studies. We had a sociology course at one time, and we may have to resurrect that course and get it back in because it would fit there. English literature, some additional literature classes, history and fine arts. And we have a good offering in fine arts right now, but we already have some discussion of ways we can expand that and have a little more to offer in the fine arts area. And then finally, the multidisciplinary studies is a combination of business and industry, arts and humanities, public services, and STEM. So it's, like I say, it combines all of them. All of these endorsements, the foundation plan is 22 credits, and then all of these endorsements involve like 4 more courses, whatever electives they choose, to get to a total of 26 credits. Right now, I think that is our plan, to stay at the 26 credits for graduation. So each endorsement is just 4 more credits. And this page, when you go back to the one at the very first, tries to capsule that. And then you may have noticed that Algebra 2 sitting up there in a very prominent place. Those endorsements, and nearly every one of them, do involve Algebra 2. We will know that for sure at a later date. That's going to give the child opportunity to get this distinguished tag that's put alongside whatever endorsement they get, and then that gives them the same eligibility for automatic admission to state universities. I have to clarify that, state universities. This top 10% or this distinguished tag will get them the automatic admission ticket. And to get scholarship dollars, there's some other hoops that they would have to jump through. But I know we're kind of rushing through all this, but we just want to give you an overview so you'll kind of have a feel for what's happening when your child comes home or we call, because we're going to have some kind of individual parent meeting. Where's Kelly? And Ronnie and Kevin and Dan and Amy and I will all be a part of having some kind of an individual parent meeting to get this thing started. And y'all are going to have to sign off more than you've ever imagined.
The next middle school role, kind of share with you, about 2 years ago we did a pilot program, a trial program with some online classes, and we had the opportunity to kind of investigate that, and Mr. Gilbert allowed us to do that, but we didn't count that as any high school credit. We were just trying to see if we could do that. Well, this past year we did introduce an online class. It's the Business Information Management System, the technology class, and we offered that, and we had some criteria for kids to be able to sign up for that. And we offered that this year. We're offering it this year as the first class, an online class that the kids could take. We've got about 25 20 to 25 kids that are taking that, and they're going to get high school credits. So some of your kids may be in that class, and it's really amazing that the ones that are taking it, the average grade in those classes are about 92 to 98, and they're doing really well. Well, once they finish the first semester and the second semester, and we already have some kids that are started the second semester, once they finish that, they'll be able to look at taking another class, another online class as well. So we introduced that this year to our kids and to you guys, and we appreciate you guys being interested in that, and that allows your child to be able to get a high school credit while they're at the middle school. One of the things that Mr. Hale made the comment is that communication, and he and Mr. Knoll, you're going to sit down with staff and you're going to talk with them, with your child. It's not going to be where your child decides, okay, I don't want to do this, and then and then it just goes. Anytime, once it gets through this process and the endorsements, if there's a change, you just can't change and call on the phone and tell Mr. Hale, hey, we want to change, and you go from there. You have to schedule a meeting, and you have to sit down, and you have to talk to him about this change, and then you have to sign off on it. Okay? So I think that's going to be a really good thing because there's going to be a lot of communication between you and the high school during that period of time. Also, one of the other things that we're going to do is we're offering some career opportunities and discussing different type of career opportunities. I know our FFA class, Mr. Jones, is talking about some things with our kids that are in that class for career opportunities. And that's one of the things I know even Ms. Ham has been talking about, trying to introduce some of our kids and give them some ideas about what's out there. I know, a lot of kids, when they're in 8th grade, they're looking at the end of the week, maybe at the end of the month, and that's about it. But you start talking about, okay, what am I going to do when I graduate from high school? And understanding that not every child may want to go to college. And I'm talking about maybe go to Texas or A&M or whatever. There'll be some kids that want to go to and I was talking to my class today. I said, you go to Texas State Technical Institute over in Marshall, or you go to Kilgore and you go to Corrosion Technology and you do some of those things. And I told them, I said, kids will do that and they will make more money than I'm making. And they really will. So, the idea that every kid is going to go off to Texas or whatever and get that 4-year degree and all that, some will do that, but there are a lot of different avenues. And I think these endorsements really will allow you to be able to see some things that our kids will be able to do and your child will be able to do. Because what you want your child to do and what your child wants to do may be two totally different things. My dad wanted me to be he was on a machine shop and he wanted me to go to A&M and be a mechanical engineer. I didn't want to do that. I just didn't. And I think whatever our kids, and when you're talking, whatever they want to do, it's want to be something that they want to do the rest of their life. And it needs to be something they want to do and something they enjoy, because you know as well as I do, if you get up every morning and you hate what you're doing, it's not a lot of fun. And it's not a lot of fun for you, and it's not a lot of fun for your kids. Okay, so I think these endorsements are going to be really a great thing. But we are going to talk to our kids about different opportunities, career opportunities that are out there, and expose them to some different things. I'm going to let Kelly visit just a little bit about what the plan is, because we can't wait. We can't wait until August to get this thing going. We just can't. And if we did, we're already behind. You guys being here, and I was serious when I talked to visit with Mr. Knoll and the high school staff. They said, well, how many do you think are going to show up? And I was straight up with them. I said, we're going to have a large turnout of parents, because you have always been very supportive of your child and things that they're doing, and we appreciate that. So when I told them we're going to have a large group of people, we do. But one of the things that we've got to do is we've got to make sure that we don't wait until May to do this. Because if we wait till May, we'll be scrambling all summer. So Kelly's going to share a little bit what the idea is and what the plan is for these meetings to take place between middle school and also high school administration. So I'm going to let Kelly Ham visit with you.
One of the things that we are wanting to do is offer an online, offer an online sign-up Not sure how we're gonna go about doing that, but I can guarantee you Mr. Floyd will be involved in that. Thank you, Mr. Floyd. Because we do want you guys to have the knowledge that you need to make educated choices for your children. I can say personally, I had a daughter and a son-in-law graduate in May, and my daughter's in pharmacy school at Texas Tech, and her husband graduated with a 4-year degree from a private university, probably $80,000 worth there. So he walked away with loans. He's athletic training. Okay, so they are in Abilene at a satellite school for Texas Tech, and I don't know if any of you are athletic trainers or if you know what an athletic trainer makes and how much they have to work. They don't make much. And so my son is working at this clinic, and he loves doing what he's doing. And he makes less than a teacher makes, okay, first-year teacher. And he finds out that here's this lady that's doing the exact same thing as he is, exact same thing, but she has a 2-year degree, physical therapy assistant, 2-year, and making 3 times the money he's making. Okay, so we want you, not that money's everything, it's not, but boy, it certainly helps when one of the spouses is in school and the other one's paying for the living expenses. Loans are paying for school. So we want you to have the knowledge, and I guarantee you I am working my tail off to try to learn everything possible so that when we meet with you guys, you will have all the knowledge we have. Think of this, to me, it's like a mini college plan. Because when you went to college, you decided a path. Now, unfortunately, if you changed, it cost money and usually took you more time. I think that this is going to be more flexible than that, and it's going to be more your interests. And I am very excited about what they're doing. You know, Texas kind of is a whole other country, and they just kind of do things, and I think this is kind of a good thing. And so we wanted to let you guys know what was going on because, listen, this is a great class. It is a great class. And so we want you to be informed when you start looking at, okay, here's where we're going in high school, and this is what, you know, where your interests lie. And not that you can't change, but I do think that it'll give your child a better foundation and knowledge of, well, you know what, I don't want to spend $80,000 to make $25,000. I may just want to go to this junior college, which is awesome. We just want our kids to have a plan to do, whether it's technical, whether it's trade, whether it's college, whether it's business, any of those options. But we want them to have options. And so we will be in contact with you, and we will be letting you sign up somehow. We'll figure that out. You do have to have access to online, and if you don't, I guarantee you we'll get out notes, mail letters, send letters home with your kids so that you can say, you know what, I need this slot. We will be doing some evening meetings. I've already told Mr. Hinkle, you know, whenever we have those evening meetings, I'm going to come in about noon. Is that okay? He said, we need to be there a little earlier. But anyway, we are going to make it so that you can be there. We know everybody works just like we do. Sometimes your work is a little bit later than ours. We start really early. And so we are going to have later meetings so that when you get off work, you can come in. And I think that's all for me. Mr. Gilbert, are you next?
I guess my first, I'm going to ask a question first. Are you, you know, because it was part of our purpose here tonight, are you thoroughly confused? Because if not, we need to keep talking. There's a lot of information here, but here's, as much as anything else that we want you to come away with in this process is, number one, your 8th graders are going to be the first ones to go into a new education system, a new graduation plan that if you intend to live in the state of Texas, you can't get away from in the public schools. So if you're part of your thought process is, well, I'll move out of White Oak and won't have to put up with all this stuff, you're going to have to go to private school or Louisiana. And hopefully you'll stay here. We have a meeting every year for 3rd grade parents where we just first go over all the STAR testing, all that stuff. And I'm last in that presentation, and the first thing I do is beg them to bring their kids back to school the next day. You know, I'm going to assure you that, number one, we've got a professional staff here that can do this, but more importantly, you have children that can succeed at this. So here's kind of a little quick recap of what we're talking about, of things that we actually know for sure. We know for sure that your students will start in the 9th grade next year with that foundation plan, a set of courses that they have to take irregardless of anything else that they do. We know that during that time, we will have already met with you and will continue to meet with you and your child to determine which one of the 5 endorsements they want to pursue. One thing that we haven't really covered yet, of those 5 endorsements, one is mandatory in the state of Texas, and that's multidisciplinary. Because you're going to have some real small schools that are going to have a hard time creating all 5 of these pathways. And multidisciplinary is going to be the one that you have to have in order to have kids go on and graduate from high school. So you'll have the 5 endorsement areas. We know that in one of those endorsement areas, STEM, Algebra 2 is, right now, and I say we know that right now Algebra 2 is automatically a part of STEM, that if you choose the STEM endorsement and you stay in it all the way through, you will be a distinguished graduate, you will be eligible for top 10% and automatic admission into a state university. In the other 4 endorsements, you will pick those, and you and your student will have an option of taking Algebra 2 and being top 10% eligible and being eligible for automatic admission. So we know that those things are in place. As far as the courses that are going to be in all of those things, the reason we can't tell you exactly what they're going to be yet is because, number one, we don't have the list. We don't have the approved list from SBOA, State Board of SBOE. I think SBOA is sports officials of some kind. Old coach, can't help it. But when we have that list, we'll start a process that will look like this. First of all, we won't offer every class that's on that list. You're going to have to go to Houston ISD or someplace that has thousands of teachers and that kind of stuff. But we'll look at those classes that are endorsed and approved, and we'll look at our teaching staff. The very first thing we'll do is we'll look at every class that we can offer on that list with our existing teaching staff in their existing certifications and start building our plan in all 5 endorsement areas along those lines. The second thing we'll look at is which ones of our teachers can add a certification, can add something to their teacher certificate so they can add some more of those classes, and those will go into the mix for our ability to plan for those classes. The third part of our procedure is we'll look, especially on the academic side, we'll look at what classes we can offer through a system called TXVSN, which is our virtual schools network in the state of Texas. There are accredited and approved classes for graduation that are offered online, and we'll supplement what we can offer with our teachers in that manner, but they'll be done at school and they'll be monitored by our teaching staff. It won't be, it's not an online class, they're doing off somewhere else. And then the last part of that we'll do, and for us, a lot of that has to do with the career and technology part of this, and looking for pathways that lead to certifications out of high school, certifications that you could actually use to go get a job in an industry. We'll look at partnerships, and the first and most important place we'll look at those partnerships is at Kilgore College, because it's right down the road from us. It has an opportunity to, and they have an excellent system for several things, and it'll give us what we need. Here is our goal at White Oak, and I will tell you that this is an ambitious goal for a school our size. We don't want to turn down any student that wants to choose any of the 5 endorsements. But our ability to, for me to stand here and tell you that we're going to be able to offer all 5 endorsements in-house with our teachers would most certainly be false. If we have a student that wants to do something in a certain manner, we're going to have to work with that student and with you as parents and look at their schedule and look at what partnerships we can do and basically create an individual graduation plan for that student that will include things that happen on campus, that will include things that happen online, and that could possibly include things that happen at Kilgore College at some other location. So, in January, actually January is ambitious. State Board of Education said they would put their list out in January. We're figuring mid to late February. That would be kind of early for them. But when that list comes out, we start the process of developing what we can actually do. But in the meantime, we thought it was very important to start this conversation with y'all so that you would know that this is on the horizon. We have a lot of things that we know for certain that we can do. We have a lot of things that we're not sure of yet, but we wanted to start this conversation tonight just with the knowledge that, number one, you know there is a House Bill 5. Some of you may have not known that before this meeting and before this thing came up. Number two, to know that we know there's a House Bill 5. And that, you know, the fact that, that we've been on top of this for some time, we've been looking at it, we've been going to different meetings at our Education Service Center, and we've got a plan in place to attack this as it comes. And probably the last thing that I would like to say, just as far as an assurance, is for you to know that this is going to be a process, like a lot of other things that we do, that's going to evolve the whole 4 years that your student is in high school. What it looks like in the spring of, was it 2018? This is class of 2018. That's kind of cool. You know, I was excited about the class of 2000. That went by in a hurry. You know, by the spring of 2018, we'll know a whole lot about House Bill 5, and most of it will probably be different than what it is tonight, because it'll evolve, it'll change, it'll get tweaked, it'll get better. Some things, you know, some things that the legislature, State Board of Education, maybe even us at White Oak thought were very important at the very beginning, are going to get moved along as this process happens. But you've heard from several people tonight, and I will tell you this. We think this is an important and positive change in education. We're not looking to trap kids into vocational classes. We're not looking to talk people out of going to a 4-year college. We're not looking to tell everybody that they have to be this, that, or the other. But with the partnership with parents and guardians, students, and educators, we're looking to make an education system that is scripted to the interests and the needs of the students. And in that process, we'll actually make it more interesting to the student than coming in your freshman year and saying, you're going to take 4 years English, you're going to take 4 years math, you're going to take 4 years of social studies, you're going to take 4 years of science, and you're really going to enjoy it. And you have an elective maybe. So, you know, you're still going to get those credits. You're going to still be exposed to those TEKS. You're still going to have an opportunity to have your students going to be challenged in your education process. But that fourth science or that fourth math may tend to lead itself more to an interest that your student has, especially at the level of a senior year when a lot of those interests are truly developing for that child.